Our Bristol City fans said, I've got a weird take on our game. For the first 15 minutes, Hull City were the best championship side I've seen at Ashton Gate this season. Of course, he would go on and say that because he didn't lose. We're talking this week about Ivo Pandur. Is he the best goalkeeper that Hull have had in the last 20 years? We'll get the panel's view on that. We're talking about refereeing standards as well as Hull fall victim again. We're talking about wages and who's the top earner at Hull. Some surprises coming out of some recent stats. And who do we want to see come up from League One? Would we like to see Reading promoted from League One? We'll get our Hull fans' view on all of that. Welcome back. We've got Matty and Ben back with us. I'm delighted to have Jack back with us, of course, as well. Fresh back from mock exams. How have they gone, Jack? You passed them all? Yeah.
I haven't got results back yet, but I've got a couple of 8s and 7s, so yeah.
All right, no need to show off. Good. welcome back. Right then, Matty. So, our Bristol City fans said Hull were the best side to come to Ashton Gate. So let me get this right now. You've gone to Sunderland and won. You went to Sheffield United and won, and you've nearly taken apart a promotions chasing Bristol City side. So, relegation. Never going to happen, is it?
No, not at all. It's never been in danger. We just thought we'd make it entertaining.
Yeah,
because we had a crap start, so I think we made it entertaining. So I think it just goes to show how much we've improved, doesn't it, under Sellers? Because I think if we'd have gone under Walter, if we'd have gone down to 10, we'd have got hammered, and it probably would have been a different game if we'd have had Pedro for the full game. I felt pretty confident that we would probably go on and probably win that. Because I know last week I tipped Bristol City to go up in the playoffs, but on that performance, they will struggle against the bigger teams, or the better teams, I suspect. So yeah, bring it on. We're doing all right against the big teams. Just need to keep going home form against the teams that we've got around us, and playoffs.
Yeah. There's some deluded people on Twitter, Jack, that said goal of the season. That do you agree with this tweet?
If you're talking about build-ups and skill, I think that was wonderful. I mean, the finish was a bit simple, but the way he was able to do that, it was just fantastic. So yeah, it's another good goal, and it was another good team performance. Albeit it was down to 10 men and we got battered. I think we had 11% possession in the second half, so that just shows. But to be fair, I've been neglecting a bit of football recently. I didn't realise how far up Bristol City were, so if I headed into that game, I wouldn't have thought Bristol were where they were. So just shows how good we actually were. So yeah, it's nice to see. Obviously, unfortunately, I didn't get to go to the game. I think it's a bit of a trek down. I've made the mistake of going before. But yeah, it's nice to sit back, watch it on TV, and for the first 15 minutes, like everyone's saying, it was just a completely different team. I just thought we was going to absolutely batter these, but 2 minutes later, Pedro gets his early birthday card and he's off. So it is what it is. It's just, and we're going to go on to the standard of refereeing, but it's just our luck this season to play so well, get a goal, get sent off, and it just takes us 5 steps back. So it's unfortunate, but we displayed a good team performance towards the end.
All right, then let's talk about that incident. Then we talked about the goal, Ben, but let's talk about this. As good as the goal was this as bad as the challenge as the goal was?
In all honesty, I don't think it was a red card. I can definitely see why, because the intent, as you can see from that still image, is definitely there. The way he's gone into the challenge is completely unnecessary, but on replay, you can see that he does draw his legs back and he doesn't even make contact with the Bristol City player. But the only angle the referee has seen is the worst one possible from directly behind. The player's gone down, rolling around, holding his legs, and it looks like a red card challenge from first viewing. But I don't know, because City can appeal it, but it can also get extended if it's found as like a wrongful appeal. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But for me, it's not a red card. It's a strong yellow, but you can't really do much about it now, can you?
Matty, is it a red for you?
Yeah, I understand what Ben's saying, and it's saying, it didn't actually, if you look at it, make contact with him. But I suppose nowadays it goes on intent, doesn't it? And it's a silly challenge to be making, especially when we've just gone 1-0 up. So I can see why he's been sent off. But then equally, I don't know who it was in the second half, but one of their players did a similar challenge on Coyle, which was probably a scissor tackle, and he got a yellow card. So where's the consistency? That's what all we're asking for in this league, is a bit of consistency. And if you've given one, which Pedro probably deserved it, then you've got to give the other. And that's what really annoyed us on Saturday, because the penalty as well was soft. And it just seems to be very one-sided against us on Saturday. So I can't argue with the red card. I think he's a silly boy for doing it, isn't he? So,
thanks, Matty. Well, brings it on to refereeing standards. That in general, Jack, Brad said here, considering our record there, the referee and playing with 10 men most of the game, the point's a great result. Jordan adds his brilliant point, considering it was 12 versus 10. For most of the game. And do you think, Jack, that Hull City there's a case for Hull City being the most hard done to team by referees this season? You seem to have had a number of calls and games where things have gone against you.
Yeah, I don't know if it's deliberate, but it just seems to be just our luck, really. I mean, there's been other teams, like I won't be able to name some, but I've just seen tweets from other football fans saying the referees are awful this season. There's a long list of like referees who have done teams this season, and yeah, we've had most of them. I think the worst one was it Sunderland, when the referee marked the Puerta for that goal. Then obviously we've had awful decisions against us we've always been had done by. Whenever we get fouled, we never get a free kick half the time. So you can't really say it's deliberate, because, well, it could be, but I don't want any conspiracies going on here. But yeah, it's just really unfortunate that we have to face this season, especially after having a manager sacked, having a team regelling, and we get the referees. It's not helping. So we don't know. It's not deliberate, but it's a bit worrying.
Feels like it, though, doesn't it, sometimes?
Yeah, it does.
Cheers, Ben. I've not got the exact tweet, but I'll paraphrase it here. Amongst the Hull fans calling out refereeing standards, there was a Plymouth fan who said, "This is effing rich, this." Hull fans complaining about referees when a simple lino on Tuesday night couldn't put his flag up in the air for one of the most obvious offsides you'll ever see. So does it iron itself out? I mean, you got away with one on Tuesday night when it was 1-0 and you went to 2-0 and killed off the game, which definitely was offside. I won't have anybody on here arguing about that. And then you complain on Saturday when you don't get one. Does it even itself out?
A little bit, but it shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't have to get a decision against you to even out one that's happened. It's evidently karma that's come back to us pretty much instantly. So we do deserve it, because that was definitely an offside goal, and we can't argue against it. But yeah, it's just like Jack and Matty have said, the refereeing standards this season and last season for City were or have been quite poor. So yeah, I think it's just karma, to be honest. We can't really complain about it after that Plymouth goal.
Sorry, Jack. I'm not being funny, but Plymouth can complain all they like. They were never ever going to score on Tuesday. If it was the first goal, fair enough. I'll give it him. But like, they could have played till next week. I mean, and they still wouldn't have scored. They were that useless. They're the best. They're the worst team I've seen this season. They're completely useless.
Yeah.
So they can complain like.
Yeah, we had a lot of Hull fans saying that, Matty, in the comments on Twitter. My response to that is, well, yeah, but if you're a team away from home and you're 1-0 down with 10 minutes to go, that is a hugely different than being 2-0 down with 10 minutes to go, isn't it? You're still in the game at 1-0. So whilst I accept that is correct, doesn't make it right, does it?
Yeah, it does. Okay. I'm sorry, but right, they were never going to score. I mean, yeah, you're right. In context, 1-0, they've got a chance. They might push on, but they didn't do out, so
No.
they can't complain. If it had been end-to-end game and they'd had loads of chances, then fair enough. But no, just get back down to League One and stop complaining.
Okay.
Well, forgetting as well, we had a massive penalty shout in that Plymouth game as well, which didn't go our way. So if we talk about karma and balancing out, I think not having a penalty and then getting an offside goal, I think that balanced out already. So
Okay. Yes, there was lots of others. Right, let's talk about Ivo Pandur, shall we then, a little bit, because that's our headline this week. Yeah, Ivo Pandur appreciation post. Jamie says, "Imagine how many points Allsop lost us last year." Yeah, Ben, is he the best goalkeeper you've had in Championship era?
He's one of, or he has been this season, one of the best. I think it's easy to say that he's probably our player of the season this season. He's been, without a doubt, the most consistent player in every game, even under Tim Volter. He looked shaky. He looked very, very shaky in pre-season, which had me nervous going into the Championship this year, but he's proved us wrong. He's done exceptionally well against really tough teams. And yeah, I think he deserves all the plaudits he's getting, especially after Bristol City on Saturday, because he made some unbelievable saves.
Yeah, May.
Yeah, and he's only young as well. I think that's what we've got to remember. He is still young, so there's still certain elements that I think he needs to improve on. So that, you know, like against Cardiff, for example, that free kick that came in, he needs to catch that for me, and then it prevents the corner that comes in for the cross. There was a couple of times he did that on Saturday, but I think overall he's vastly improved. I won't go out as far to say that he's the best goalkeeper we've had, but he's only young and he's still got plenty of potential. And I'm sick of hearing about him and Racine, you know, for last year. We don't know, do we? The reason we didn't get promoted with Racine is because he was too kind of negative. It were just down to the goalkeeping situation. So yeah, he might have saved us a couple of points, but that's not the sole reason why we didn't get promoted last season. But yeah, credit to Pandur. I think he, like Ben says, he's been probably one of our most consistent players, and him and Hughes on Saturday were 9 out of 10 possibly. So well done to both of them. Yeah, they were quality.
Yeah, I do like Hughes as well, I've got to say. I'm not sure he's going to be, but he might get in the EFL team. He won't get in the EFL team this season, but he should do, in my view. Jack, anything to add to Pandur?
Well, the lads have summed it up perfectly. I was just going to say he needs to work on a little bit of his, when he catches the ball, he needs to release it a little bit quicker. I know sometimes you can't always do that, but there's certain cases where you've got wingers charging out and he's just holding the ball. But other than that, I think he's a great shot stopper and he's a good catcher. But he can work on it a little bit more, like Marty said. But overall, I think he's a great keeper and he's definitely saved us, especially against Leeds with that header save.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's class, and again, he's young, so he's got time to develop. And if we keep him, he could be a first choice for a long time. So yeah, we've just got to hold on to him.
Good stuff. Right then, 2 games this week. Yeah, big ones as well. Oxford United come to the MKM on Wednesday, and then a trip to West Brom on Saturday at the same time that Derby and Plymouth kick off down at Home Park. So not both of them can win that one. Ben, would you take 3 points, 4 points from this week?
Yeah, I think that's respectable. And I think if we win against Oxford, we can kind of turn our view upwards instead of looking downwards all the time, because I think by then we'll have a quite sizable gap against the bottom 3 and we can sort of kick on a little bit to an extent. But yeah, I think 4 points should realistically be the minimum, whether it's a draw against Oxford or West Brom. One of them has to be a win. But I think we've proved it recently that we're tougher to beat than we were earlier in the season, and we look like we're improving week in, week out as well. So there's definitely something there to push on and hopefully get not quite mid-table, but just at least a fair bit out of the scrap at the bottom end.
Yeah, very well said. Wages have been a discussion this week because there's been a number of graphics floating around on social media which have tried to highlight the differences between different clubs. Now, this is not set in stone. This has not been independently verified by anyone. This is just what Salary Sport have come up with. I was surprised, Matty, looking at this in relation to where Hull are. Were you equally surprised?
I mean, looking at that, it looks like we're paying a lot of wages, but I'm very surprised because you're looking at the squad. I don't think we've got anybody that particularly any like the players that we had last year, and compared like Philogene and Delap and stuff like that, who were way better than the players that we had. I'm very surprised that we're up there in terms of it, but I think it's probably probably the amount of players that we've got. We have recruited a lot of players, and the thing is, I think we probably have to go a bit higher, and we've probably got that bit of a difference that with clubs because we're competing against other teams to get these players in. So we probably have to raise our wage bill a little bit slightly just to kind of attract them, I think, probably. Not saying that we're not an attractive club, but, if you're competing against teams that are higher up in the league, you're going to have to put your money where your mouth is, aren't you? And you're going to have to put your money out there. So that's probably the reason why we're up there, I should expect in terms of that.
Let's have a look at the reported wages then, Jack. I mean, this is again unverified, but according to reports, you've got 4 players there at the top, which are all taking home over $1 million a year gross. Does that surprise you? I mean, obviously you've got loans there, so we don't know how much of the club are paying for those in terms of proportion of the loans, but would that surprise you?
I mean, they're all, as Matty said, we're an attractive club, and we need to get these big players in, so that means we have to spend more. So, but looking at that, we don't know where he is, so we're wasting some money there. Matazzo's injured, so wasting money there. Liam Miller's injured, wasting money there. So, yeah, it does surprise me, but again, if you want to go big, you've got to spend big. So it's just what we have to do at the moment, and we could have done what Ipswich or whatever teams have done and spend little, get some lower players and build our way up. But we're kind of gambling at the moment because that's what we have to do, I suppose. So, but yeah, I mean it's working, but we won't be able to sustain it for long. So we're just gonna have to, because we'll probably end up losing these players at the end of the season, unfortunately. So we've just got to do what we can now, and then just analyse what we can do next season. But yeah.
Any surprises for you, Ben, on that graphic?
To be honest, not really. I think most of the players in that list you could consider are better players. Obviously, Omer has gone out on loan, who didn't really do a great deal, but almost all the others that are on that list are probably our best players. I know, like Jack said, Miller and Matazzo were out injured, but you can't really, we wouldn't have known that when we were signing them and giving them such a high wage, because they are such high quality players. They essentially deserve the money that we're paying for it, but it is just unfortunate the way it's gone, and we've lost 2 of them to big injuries. But I'm not really too surprised because we do sign a lot of high quality players, to be honest.
The only one I was surprised about was Amrabat there. He's on 15 grand a week, and he's only played half an hour, if that, in January. So again, it's just, I know we have to bring players in, but again, that's kind of crazy. It's lunacy, isn't it? Playing it for free transfer, who's 6 months. But that's probably why he came. He was probably laughing all the way to Lloyd's Bank, weren't he? Saying, right, okay, I'm going to get $750,000 just to sit on the bench. Lovely stuff. And I'm 37.
Right. Cheers for that. Yeah, and as we mentioned last week, there was a number of clubs when we asked them about who do you want to see go down that put Hull City down there because of your wages and how much you try and spend your way out of trouble. So maybe this is a new clean way of looking at Hull, and that you're not going to go crazy on wages and be more sensible. Right. Finally, this week we're talking about League One promotion. Who would we like to see come up? And I'm interested to get your views on whether you'd like to see Reading up there or not. Obviously, with your connections to the club. Here's the 8 teams, which we believe 3 of them will obviously be in with a shout of coming up. We pretty much think Birmingham are going to be there, but it's not who you think's coming up. It's who would you like to see play in the league next season, and that can be for a variety of personal reasons. Jack, let's start with you.
I could not be bothered who comes up, but I reckon.
Oh, cheers! That makes a really good discussion.
I like Bolton. I don't know why. I guess it might sound sad, but I used to watch Thogden's videos when he was supporting Bolton, so it'd be nice to them. Wrexham, I watched a few episodes of that Wrexham series. I think there's a bit of fame there. It'd be nice to have a nice trip down there. And Stockport, why not? Let's throw a Stockport in there. They're not too far away, so that'd be a nice one. And they've got a good fan base as well. So yeah, but it would be very good to see Reading come back up. I know I'm doing 4 now, but I'm just going to give them a little shout out because they were in the mire a while ago, and then Sellers came, and then the new manager is doing them well. So it would be really, really nice to see them come up again. But yeah, them 3 are my option.
Okay, good shout. Ben?
Not Birmingham, because I saw them 4 times last season. I think Wickham would probably be a good one. Bolton, like Jack said, they've got a lot of history, and I suppose they are kind of a bit of a big club, but not really done too much in the last few years. And get a selfie with Deadpool. I'll go Wrexham.
God. You don't want Reading up either, then?
I suppose, like Jack said, it will be a nice story. The stuff they're going through and have been going through is like absolutely atrocious from the owner's perspective. But I mean, it would be interesting to see how we got on against Sayers' former side, I suppose. Yeah,
it's just a long trip, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everywhere's a long trip if you live in Hull.
Have you been to Reading now? It's just like
we drew. I think we drew 1-1.
It's I mean, that stadium reminds me of the MKM actually. It was designed by the same player.
I can't believe we chose a.
It's just a weird place, isn't it? It's a weird place.
We chose a friendly against them as well. I was like, what's the point in that?
We could get revenge on that actually. To be fair,
on a friendly.
Right, go on then, Matty.
Well, I Stockport would be good. Obviously, them kind of going out the Football League, and it just reminds me of kind of the 90s. Actually, Stockport had a really good team when we were in League One, and they had like Kevin Francis and David Priest. They were out. They won the league and went up to the Championship time. So I'd like to see them because they've kind of gone out of business and come back up, haven't they? So, not out of business, out the league and come back up. So for me, that'd be a great shout. Huddersfield. I know we probably played them, but it's another local derby. As many Yorkshire teams in there as possible is great for us. I'm not fussed about Birmingham or Wrexham. I'd probably go with Wickham. I don't think I've never been to Wickham, so yeah, I'd be interested to see them come back up and see how they go because they're quite good out there because I think they've booked the trend that everybody was expecting Birmingham and Wrexham to walk away with it, and they've kind of stuck there, even though Matt Bloomfield's gone to Luton, isn't it? He's at Luton, isn't he? So that's hopefully they can continue and knock Wrexham down a peg or two. That'd be good.
Cool. Right, let us know in the comments then if you disagree with any of that. Good luck against Oxford on Wednesday night. We're not seeing many wins at the MKM, but maybe 2 can come along at once in the space of 2 weeks. We'll review it all back here next week, of course. Thank you so much for joining us. See you in 7 days' time. Have a good